Hey everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day so far and thanks for tuning in into this training video. In this video, we're going to be covering the expenses module in Contractor Foreman, what it is, why it's important, and how to create, manage, and report expenses properly. Before we get into it, let's talk about what expenses are. The expenses module is designed to track costs that arise unexpectedly during a project or were not included in the original project estimate. These costs may come from having to purchase extra materials or tools on site, fuel or mileage reimbursements, or small purchases needed to keep work moving, such as buying extra nails or screws. By entering expenses, it ensures accurate job costing and provides a complete overall picture of the spending when you're doing an overall project review on the financial side. So, let's get into it. In order to access expenses, let's head over to the menu and go down to expenses under financials. Once here, you'll see that this module dashboard looks very similar to the other dashboards in Contractor Foreman. We have a list of all the expenses we have so far, that we've created so far, and if you're looking for a specific expense, you can actually just search for it on the top left-hand corner. In addition, you can use the filter button and filter by various fields such as date range, who was it created by, and record status. On the top right hand corner, there's some buttons you might be familiar with, including a watch a how-to video. And this is likely how you got to this video in the first place. In addition to the video, we also have a number of different articles on expenses which I'd highly recommend for you to check out. We also have a suggest a new feature button. If you have a thought or a suggestion or an improvement that we can make here in Contractor Foreman for our expenses module, we'd love to hear from you. We're always monitoring this inbox and we're always launching updates on Contractor Foreman based off the feedback that we get. So feel free to drop us a note. And lastly is the module settings. If you're looking to add custom fields or change the general settings for the module, feel free to check out the module settings button on the top right hand corner and you can play around with these items for expenses. So let's go ahead and work on an expense together as an example. We'll go to the top right hand corner and click on plus expense. Once here, there's a few different things to fill out, and please note, any item that has an asterisk beside it means it has to be filled out for us to continue. We'll go ahead and choose one of the projects that we're working on and the total cost that it was for. We can include the vendor that we purchased it from, and the name of the expense. Set of 6-inch nails for roofing, I can put that down, and the bank account. The purpose of the bank account is to help you keep track of where the purchase was made. So when you're looking through the expenses, you can filter it by, for example, a credit card that you already have. If you have QuickBooks integrated into Contractor Foreman, the different credit cards or bank accounts that you have available will be synced to the bank account feature here within expenses. And we'll go ahead and click on category as well. For this, it's materials. We also have a billable feature. If you'd like to make this expense billable towards the client, for example, a permit fee, you can actually click on billable here and create an invoice from this expense towards your client. For this example, we're not going to make it billable, but we'll proceed forward. And we now have our expense ready to go. Once you get to the expense screen, you can see that most of the information that we filled out in the previous screen carries on to here. For example, we have the project name at the very top, the vendor, the date, and the expense number, as well as the expense name that we filled out, and we can also provide a reason if needed. For this one, I can put in nail gun jammed and had to buy 20 additional 6-inch nails. 6-inch nails to complete roof. The employee automatically becomes whoever created the expense. We have the material that we filled out previously. We can create a reference, an internal reference number if needed. I'll call it 002. And under financials, we have the project total that we provided, the bank account that we also chose as well. One thing I want to highlight again is that if you'd like to enter a new credit card, for example, if you have a new MasterCard that you'd like to try out, simply just type it in, and it'll become an option for you in the future as well. Yep. It's a new one. And we can also select the cost code here. So I'll go ahead and put it under my roof cost code. Like I had mentioned earlier, you can also make the option available to make the expense billable. If for whatever reason you need to bill the expense towards a client, you can actually just go ahead, click on billable, and also make this a billable expense that can be paid out by the customer as well. Moving over to the left-hand side, there's also a files button. Here, similar to bills, we always highly recommend to attach the original receipt to the expense so that in the future, if you're ever looking to take a look at the backup or you need the actual receipt to justify a purchase, it's pretty much ready to go for you. So here we'll go ahead and just add in the receipt and hit attach. And lastly, similar to our other modules in Contractor Foreman, we have an internal notes page where you can keep track of any internal notes that you'd like for this purchase. Before we close this video, I again want to highlight the difference between expenses and bills and when to use each. For bills, bills are for planned purchases tied to a purchase order or a subcontract. The reason being is that if you have a PO or a subcontract made and you have a bill which is coming in, you can assign the bill to either the PO or the subcontract, and which will help you keep track of the overall cost of that purchase order or subcontract. For example, if you're ordering 25 windows from one supplier and you've given them a purchase order, and once those windows start arriving, you can keep track of the number of windows which are arriving, make sure it matches the original purchase order, and assign the bills towards the purchase order. For expenses, expenses are only for incidental, unplanned, and miscellaneous costs. This could be fuel or mileage reimbursement, a broken tool replacement, or if your crew did a really good job one week and you want to buy them all lunch on Friday afternoon, a crew meal would be an expense. It's when there's not a purchase order or a subcontract for it and it was not part of your original project estimate. So with that, we can now go ahead and close out this video, and thanks for tuning in again. With this video, you now know how to capture all incidental and unplanned costs through the expenses module, and you know how to distinguish between planned bills and incidental expenses. By using this module consistently, you'll ensure nothing slips through the cracks, keeping your financials accurate and your projects profitable. Thanks for listening. If you need help or have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us by the live chat or send us an email at support@contractorforeman.com. And if you'd like to have any more in-depth training, make sure to book a session on our training page. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.